We got the tattoo because, okay, here's the thing, and I mean this with every fiber of my being. Harry Styles is simply the perfect person. And I don't mean that just like, oh my god, I love Harry Styles. It's like every interview you ever watch, every person you ever talk to that's like, yeah, I met Harry Styles. It's like there is not a negative interaction that I think he's ever had with someone. I've watched his interactions with the paparazzi, like literally everything. He offers his leftover food to them. It's like he is such a genuine person. I could never meet him. I can never meet him. I don't want to say hi to him. I don't want to be in the same room as him unless I'm at a concert. Like it literally, I'm unworthy. But I think the thing about him is like so many. I met a girl at the forum show who had another DPWK tattoo, and she kind of said the same thing where she was like, it's just a constant reminder of like that means more to me. Oops, this is kind of sad. That means more to me than a Christian tattoo, like a cross tattoo, because it's like Harry's a real life example of just like be absolutely as kind as you can to every other person you talk to ever. Because he's so inspiring in so many more ways than just like he makes good music. There's two sides to it. The content creation part is one thing. It comes very easily to me because I've always done it. I feel like especially growing up online, you just kind of learn how to, there are consumers of content and there's creators of content. I've always in my little circle just kind of shit posted videos on Snapchat. Snapchat used to be my platform. And I would like, it got to this point in college where I would have friends of friends of friends like add me on Snapchat just to watch my Snap stories, and I would do pretty much what I do on TikTok, just voices, characters, skits, like that sort of thing. Just thoughts as they would pop into my head. So I kind of it got up to like 600 or 700 people would watch my Snapchat stories, and I didn't know who they were. So I feel like that kind of prepared me a little bit for what was to come with TikTok. But as far as being recognized and stuff, I'm still not used to it. It happens in public still, like, oh my god, I got recognized at a protest with my mask on. You forget, like, it is millions of people watching you. It's like that just slips my mind because it's just me in my bedroom, you know? Like you don't realize the impact you have on people, and that it's very humbling. So I think that's been the weirdest thing. It's just like I can't go to CVS and buy pads. There's I don't know, there's a lot of character development that comes with being averagely pretty. You know what I mean? Like being a little chunky, being a little overweight, being averagely pretty, you have to develop in other places. So of course, girl, I've always been Miss Personality because it's kind of like you work with what you're given. I have a very funny family, which I'm very thankful for. My dad's one of the funniest people I've ever met, and I come from a family of divorce, so humor is a coping mechanism. Man, I didn't think that much of it as it was happening. I mean, you don't really until you're out of it. I've had an interesting upbringing because my dad was military, so I've lived all across the southeastern United States. I've lived, Georgia, Virginia, North Carolina, Alabama, Texas, but I've also lived in South Korea. So yeah, he was stationed over there for a year, so we followed him there, and I don't know. I've been very lucky because growing up in the South, it's very close-minded, but I've had enough life experiences afforded to me by my family that I made it out, and I'd like to think I'm very well-rounded, pretty cultured. So yeah, with that comes my family. They're not very, to kind of bring it back, I don't really have anyone that's gay or even LGBTQ plus in my family at all. But I've always sort of gravitated to those friendships. And I think it has to do with having like a boisterous personality and being so yourself. I'm attracted to people like that, and I think it's a two-way street. So the gay community's always been there for me with open arms, and vice versa. So yeah, it's weird, and my dad doesn't really get it. He's like, what? Why do these gay men like you? It's not like they can get anything from you. And I'm like, yeah, but that's the beauty of it, is they don't want anything. It's just the joy of life, and it's the joy of, giving it to the girl. Girl of all time, probably Miss Alyssa Edwards. She's from Mesquite, Texas. I've seen Kennedy Davenport perform live. Oh, bitch, I was gagged. She performed in Dallas, and I was, wow. You see these queens on Drag Race, and it's like, since it's a TV show, you kind of think of it as if you're a judge almost.
Yeah.
And to see it live, it's a different experience. For all my friends that have never been to a drag show, I'm like, well, you gotta go. And that's why it's amazing what y'all are doing here, because there's so many, I've seen so many queens go live on TikTok to try to make money because of the donation feature. And then on Instagram, they do Patreon, GoFundMe, all that stuff. So it sucks because so much of the drag show experience is the audience.
Yeah.
Kind of been taken away. But yeah. Kristen Wiig. I love a bit of Jim Gaffigan. I love Tom Segura. Kind of that whole. I mean, I respect Joe Rogan and what he does, but he's not like one of my favorites. But he's definitely like, when you talk about comedians, and especially comedians that have successfully made the transition into digital comedy, like with his podcast, and he's very present online. Like, I think I really look up to him for that, just like this empire he's created. Yeah, I'm very inspired by them. Of just like, I don't know, the more I kind of study comedy as someone who wants to go into it, like in a traditional sense, it really is just like personality. It's not about the stories. It's not about the, it is about the delivery, but it's really just, are you likable? Do people want to listen to what you have to say? Are you a naturally funny person? Yeah, stand up and like comedy voice acting would really be the end goal too. That's how fun would that be? Little Despicable Me action maybe. Like a little Shrek, Ice Age, the Lego Movie. Yeah, for sure. Chris Pratt's amazing in the Lego Movie. No, because as soon as like we really started, talking about that as a real thing that could happen, like, okay, maybe it's time to attend an improv workshop or do an open mic, Corona hit. So
yeah,
because I mean, if you think about it, I moved to LA in December, like top of December. It was a really busy month, and then it was Christmas, and then January, I wasn't in LA. February was Playlist Live, and then Corona hit beginning of March. So I really haven't, I've been in LA for maybe 2 months before things kind of went to shit. So I don't know, it sucks because there's so much opportunity here, but Hollywood's kind of paused right now. I appreciate that. There is a stigma around that though, of like, don't praise these white creators too much for doing what they should be doing, and that's very much how I feel. Of like, there comes a time when it's time to mobilize, and that time is now. So where I would be using, my following, my very loyal following, for just kind of make money, I guess that's really the only, entertain them and make money for myself. This is the time to really utilize them and their loyalty and their listening ears. So I am very dedicated to not letting this stop. So many people just let it stop. They posted their black square and they moved on. And this is so much more than that. This is not the time for performative activism. This is not the time to prove that you care. This is the time to change it. You have a problem with what's going on, change it. It starts with us. So I hope that message, I'm sending that message to my followers. And there's two sides to it. There's the followers that already agree, they're on board, it's Fuck 12 and it's this, that, and the other. But then the other side is the followers in my DMs that are like, can you explain to me why you think all cops are bad? My dad's a police officer and he's not racist. And it's like, oh my God, I want to help. But I don't have enough time in the day to sit here and explain to you the history of systemic racism and the history of policing in America. I don't have the time. And I find myself getting frustrated because I'm reposting these materials. It's for the people like that. Just read, just go. I have highlights, I have links, I have all of that. But I understand DMing and asking the questions directly, and I respond when I can. But it's frustrating because people who don't want to listen and they just want to argue, they'll do just that. And I've lost a couple followers, which is unfortunate. But, you know, if you're not willing to listen in the age of information, that's on you. I can't, it's not going to be me that changes their mind. So, I don't know. It's definitely a very stressful time to be a creator. I've struggled a lot with the balance of posting lighthearted content and not being tone deaf to what's happening in America.
Yeah.
So, for a while in like early June, I just was not posting at all. I wasn't posting funny content. I wasn't, because it's not right. I was posting educational stuff. I was posting calls to action, and I was getting hate for it. You know, when are you gonna be funny again? You can't. Not to like. I thought I could come to your page to avoid politics. I don't know. I just hope that I'm doing my part. You know, because it's the thing of like, have you ever thought if you were back in the '60s? You know, what would you have done? And that's very much where we're at. So pick the right side of history, sort of thing. So good. It was off the bat too. Like, she came out of her apartment to come get me, and we were just at it. So I don't know. It's weird how it happened, because me and Sarah recreated the Trixie and Katya look, not expecting them to ever respond or even see the tweet. And sure enough, they DM'd both of us. Katya DM'd Sarah, and Trixie DM'd me. Miss Tracy Mark too. And she was like, well, she calls me the F slur. Yeah, F slur, let's film a video together. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And so we started texting, and she literally lives like 10 minutes from me. So we just kind of drove over, and it was the most fun I've ever had in my life. And people have been, that video has like 5 million views. It popped off. So the banter is definitely there. It's definitely a rapport. And I'd love to, we were gonna do like a podcast episode together or something, and then Rona hit, and we were gonna do another video where I paint him as me, as the Brittany Broski twiggy eyelash, keep the bun on, all of that. But yeah, it's kind of been put on pause. And her tour, I know that she's done the she goes live on Twitch and all that.
Yeah.
So it's similar, but it's not the same at all. No. Well, their career they've literally had their legs cut out from under them. Like, literally the way that they make art and make money has been stripped from them. So I think this is fantastic what y'all are doing, because that it is a community, already oppressed and in need, even more in need. So, you know, it's time, especially as allies, the fact that you recognize a need and, you know, you want to help out in any way possible. I think that's fantastic. And y'all are so young and so dedicated. Y'all are inspirations. That's fantastic.
So we'll let you go, but thank you so much for doing this. We love you, girl. We always support you.
Love you lot. Thank you so much, babe. You're right.
Vibes, SpongeBob's.